Sadly, today's episode is going to be sad. I don't really know that much of Asian history, but I did a little bit of Asian history. Now, this is the last video of Asian history, and the rest is just United States history. Sorry, but I just really want to make some Asian in casual, and this video may be long. This video is going to be called The Rise and the Fall of Communism in Asia, because Asia really is contorting the communist regime. I'll be talking about the two great Rutinikies and how China is communism kind of does fall because of its intention becoming the United States a really destination. Talk about the rise of communism. On my previous videos, you've probably seen the Russian Revolution. If you don't, catch up and find it, because I don't have an ad here to show you it, but just find it. Okay. In case the Russian Revolution is taking place and the pinnacle idea. But instead of me talking about internicks of Asian, Karl Marx is actually his idea under communism basically shaped the issues of Asia and all those other places to do so. So the Asian people have been wanting communist regime for the workermen. And Lenin rises up in communist regime that it is a course, it is a ideas, but including way the issue with communism that the United States here with the Cold War would be chemical. Lenin inspired dude and go to the Russian Revolution to catch up, because this will explain it. Because this will not explain the whole details into it and the casual ideas of it. But the really rise and fall of communism at times, Lenin is always seen around Russia. The statue of Lenin was falling down, mostly because the Soviet Union was just fall. The last day of the Soviet Union, its heart was emerged when it fell. But during the fact of communism, it still remains today. But eventually capitalism is falling. And I hope it does, because in the middle of a script, you really have to merge the issues of the capitalism and communism and see how they actually work together these days with China. But eventually the casualties of Lenin created the Soviet Union, which was a background that coordinated the world. In occasion, they worked with Stalin to contain the rise of communism, and it was rising. As time the Cold War began, Truman, the President of the United States, was unfortunately invicting his own arms for the nation, because what the heck does this all mean? The whole idea of capitalism and the communism really emerged the 20th century as well, because what happens during the affairs which both people and the identical ideas really emerged the last Asian court, because this really happened in the force of the rise and fall of communism, and China a rise in the Chinese Revolution as Mao Zedong the communists won their revolution and forced the Chinese Communist Revolution. There's two revolutions, by the way, in China. It's a Vedical issues that really defines the ideas of what can you be without a court of what we talk about the issue, because China is really the emerging thing that stages up the world. China concurrently meets, but capitalism is kind of weakening communism. Communism is weakening capitalism by the end. Communism was really doing good in the beginning of the Cold War, pretty good up to the end, except that last section was ruled by communism, mostly not thanks to Ronald Reagan, mostly thanks to a communist himself, Mikhail Gorbachev of the Soviet Union. About the technical issues of communism, China and Mao Zedong catered. Mao Zedong was horrible, actually. But the issues of China's great legacy is recorded for the great part. Okay, about the whole thing, which we have emerged during it, so I think the most emergent is the fact that we are in a self-oriented group. Because during the group is by the communism rise in China is growing, but it's ending. Okay, now let's talk about the fall of communism and its big advancing ideas. The fall of communism remains a mystery to this day, but mostly because of not Ronald Reagan, but Mikhail Gorbachev. And the Soviets were losing out to the United States finally, because we were losing out for a long time to the Soviet Union. So Gorbachev is weakening, and eventually something happens, and these issues of the I want something issues probably remains to this day of the rise and fall in communism in Asia. It is a point that it had to fall. The Soviet Union eventually did fall. The communism collapse didn't just remain the Soviet Union. It kind of did in China, by the way, because of a last minute of the series that will begin right now is chemically invasion. Okay, China, in the other point, how they happily ended, were because of the capitalism and how they were working with capitalism. And during the Cold War, really is not ending, but it's been working with the United States with issues. It doesn't mean they are now capitalist, but they are something, because we don't know which this deals does, and it really defines the 21st century with other than 2015 right now, because you have to say something that all issues have done good ideas. And goodbye. But this issue episode will be the last of Asian history, so this is sad. But goodbye. The rise and fall of communism is what you just watched. Goodbye.